I thought it was really normal to have achy and sore feet. Actually feel what's happening underneath your feet. See if you can just pull the big toe up this time. To the side, bring it up. Hey team, in today's video, I'm going to share with you a foot and ankle class that is really designed to help you in that transition from conventional shoes to barefoot shoes, which requires our feet to do more work for us, to do what they were designed to do. But first I want to break down why you should transition to barefoot shoes and what are barefoot shoes in the first place. So moving to more of a barefoot shoe means a few things. The first thing is they have a wide toe box, which basically means your toes are free to move up and down in your shoe just as they would if you were barefoot. That is like really the first place to start, is to maybe start removing the shoes that are squishing your toes. Before I moved to barefoot shoes, I thought it was really normal to have achy and sore feet or, sore big toe, but it's not normal. Just because you hear people saying it all the time, as you start wearing shoes that have more room for your toes to move, you will realize how good you are actually designed to feel. The second thing is that they are flat. So there is no elevation at the heel, there is no elevation at the toe, no lift at the toe. So you'll commonly see some Nike runners and other runners like that with a lift here, and it's meant to be like helping you with that toe off. We don't need help. Our feet were perfectly designed to walk and run. And so you don't need that. We also don't need a heel lift. Having a heel lift is going to really throw off the tension in the back of your legs, the posterior chain, and really can cause some havoc in our low back. Third thing that makes it barefoot is that it is flexible. You can see this looks like a pretty normal shoe, but I can fully roll it up to nothing, which just shows how flexible this shoe is. It means that if I walk on different terrain, the foot moves with the shoe. Yeah, that is what we want. We want our foot to be able to move. We don't have 30 joints in the foot for no reason. There is a reason for that, because they were designed to move. So the more mobility we can get in our feet happening, even when we're wearing a shoe, the better. And then the last thing that makes it barefoot is that it's a thin sole. So there's not much distance between where your foot starts and the bottom of the shoe, which on the downside does mean that the barefoot shoes do wear a lot quicker than a normal shoe. You can see that there's a lot of wear because I wear these a lot. But at the same time, it means that you can actually feel what's happening underneath your feet. Underneath our feet, we have got thousands of proprioceptors, which are nerve endings, which allow feedback that go up to our brain, and they tell us messages on balance, on where our point of gravity is, on how we need to maneuver to go around different terrains. And if we can't feel anything, if we've numbed out our feet, none of that is going to work. So thin is really important when it comes to barefoot shoes as well. Okay, so when it comes to transitioning to barefoot shoes, here's just a couple of tips for you to start on your journey. Don't be like me and what I did and go from 0 to 100. I decided to go barefoot shoes after wearing Nike high tops and doing a lot of dancing and exercise in really thick shoes. I went from that to nothing, and then also started running at the same time. Don't do that. What you want to do is slowly transition to barefoot shoes. So what does that mean? Maybe getting your first pair of barefoot shoes and you're wearing them at the start every second day, or wearing them for short periods of time, then slowly building that up. Another great tip is, as you are transitioning to barefoot shoes, do your foot exercises. Get to that class at the end of this video. Do it several times. You can take any of those exercises and do them as movement snacks through the day to really build up your foot and ankle stability and mobility. My third tip would be to do some daily barefoot work, like where you're just taking your shoes off, being barefoot around the house, outside, getting your feet on the earth. So actually being barefoot as much as you can. Extra points if you can get some foot rolling in as well during that time. My last tip is to spend your time when you're actually exercising barefoot. A lot of the time, most people will train and they will train with like really thick shoes on, and that's when they're building their lower body strength and mobility. Take your shoes off for lower body strength and mobility. All of our A-Life classes, we get our own students to be barefoot for everything, because no matter what exercise we're doing, it becomes a foot and ankle exercise when you are barefoot. So they are the things that I recommend to do during your transition to make sure that you are being safe as you transition slowly. Some of our favorite barefoot shoes that we really love is Feelgrounds shoes. One of the reasons why I like Feelgrounds shoes is because they have shoes that kind of look like day shoes. A lot of the time when people pick their first pair of barefoot shoes is they go to their exercise shoe. And when you think about it, how many times a week do you actually exercise? So maybe you're only putting on that barefoot shoe a couple of times a week, 3 times a week, but the rest of the time you're wearing conventional shoes that are squishing your toes, giving you a heel lift. So your body isn't really adapting to that barefoot lifestyle and be able to rewild and, get back all that strength and mobility. So I actually suggest going to the shoe that you wear the biggest time during the day. So your day-to-day shoe. I wear these with jeans, I wear them going out, I wear them just every day as I can. And then when I'm actually exercising, I'm barefoot. So I actually do it that way. I do have also a pair of Vivo barefoot shoes that are really good for things like trail walks, running, and outdoor exercise if you need to wear shoes. But if we really come down to it, why were shoes created? It's because so that we don't get harmed, to avoid glass, to avoid a nail, things like that. And if you really think about your risk of that, it's very, very low. Our feet, once we start going bare feet, will start adapting. You'll get a thicker sole underneath your feet. You're going to get more your sensitivity will go down, and you won't have to be like, ow, 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 every time you actually walk. It actually gets better, and soon you'll be able to be walking as naturally as you do with shoes, but when you're bare feet. So I hope those tips and tricks really help you in your transition. I would love you to comment below any questions. If you want, we could do a part 2 to this video. Enjoy this class. Remember to do it a few times and take each exercise and use it as a daily exercise or movement snack that you can do throughout the day. I always suggest, keep your rubber ball out in your lounge room, so whenever you see it, you can do a minute of foot rolling to help get your foot back to how it was designed. All right, team, enjoy. Hey team, welcome to this mini class that's going to help support you transitioning to barefoot shoes. We are going to focus on foot and ankle strength and mobility. So what you will need, a cushion or a block will be helpful if you've got something like that. A ball, I've got the roller as part of the Soulmate kit from the Foot Collective. We'll put some details below about that if you want to check it out. And we're good to get started. So first you're going to get your ball or your roller, whatever you've got handy, for some foot massage on the bottom of the foot. So important to help release the tissues of the bottom of the foot. Now, I like to start under the toes. And if you've got the ball, you can go left to right, you can go forward, back, and really just spread the toes over the ball or roller. Start to move it into the top underneath the ball of the foot. Again, just feel what's going on the inside of the foot and the outside of the foot. You can start rolling your foot in towards the arch, under the arch. It might feel like there's some tight spots, and if you feel a tight spot, feel free to just hold on it or come on and off that area. This roll is really nice to roll through that arch part all the way to where the arch meets the heel. Again, you can go inside, outside. You can also go around the heel Nice to sensitize this area. Sometimes the transitioning to more of a barefoot lifestyle is also sensitizing the bottom of the foot, because wearing shoes all the time often just numbs out our foot. We don't feel all these sensations we have available compared to when we are barefoot. And then you can just go from the top all the way through to the heel. And as you do that, you choose how much pressure you put down. So all these exercises I'm going through in this class, you can do as a sequence like we do today, or you can just choose one at a time and do them at different parts of the day or when you feel like you need it. All right, so let's switch. So again, you're going to go from the toes, really spreading the toes over this roller or ball, whatever you have available. If you don't have like a rubber ball or something that's more like specific, you can even just use a tennis ball. Let's do under the ball of the foot and where the ball of the foot meets the arch. Really play around with feeling through the inside and the outside, rolling all the way under that arch now to where the arch meets the heel. And if you find a spot, you can just hold, take a few breaths. We're releasing tissues. We're also sensitizing the foot, so going around the heel, inside and outside. Awesome, team. And then just rolling through the whole foot. All right, when you're done there, last couple of seconds here. And also relax your shoulders, relax the rest of the body so we're not holding tension. Awesome. All right, so now you're going to take a seat on a cushion or a block, whatever you have available. Just elevate your hips. It will just make life a little more comfortable to start with. So we're going to now stretch the tissues between your toes. So you can fold one leg in. You can also do this on an actual seat, like elevated. You're going to grab one foot and you're going to put your index finger between the big toe and the second toe, and then put the rest of the fingers in between. So your pinky is in between that fourth and fifth toe. Now, you might find this a little bit tricky to kind of squeeze in. You can kind of give it a bit of a rock forward and back to get the fingers in a little bit more. The more you do this, I promise it starts to feel a little bit easier. And then just wrap around the hand. You can put the other hand on like the midfoot, and you can go forward and back. You can do some little twists left to right. I really like the twist. You can even, I call it like a little wave. You can do a bit of a wave happening here, kind of rolling it forward and back. You can even use this hand here to just get your thumb and kind of massage into the arch of anything more specific. You can bring this hand now onto the actual leg, onto the bottom of the leg, and then use this hand as it's in between your toes for some nice ankle circles. So circling around one side and then circling around the other way. So you want to spend a good couple of minutes here. So I like to just do all those different ways. I like to even mobilize this big toe, so you can bring that other foot on that big toe and really get that joint moving. It's just like giving your foot a treatment. I used to, as an osteo, do this to patients all the time that needed foot mobilizing, and then they would walk out of their treatment being like, oh my God, my feet feel so free. You are literally doing this to yourself right now. You're giving your foot nice treatment. And then to come out, spread the toes as much as you can, and then pull the hands out. And then just have a feel. I like to even compare a bit of a spread and just see that one spreading way more than that one now. So we're gonna do the other side. Again, bring this leg on top. Hands, second finger goes between the big toe, and then just work your way down. Wriggle them down. You can go forward and back. This hand is on the midfoot right there, kind of creating a bit of an anchor point. I really like the twist. You can go twist left to right. You can go little wave. Remembering when we've been wearing shoes, like rigid shoes for so long, these joints, 30 joints, don't have to do much work, right? We're kind of, it's like having plaster around the foot. So we're now trying to be like, hey joints, it's all right. Let's get that movement back. So sometimes you have to do that passively like this, and sometimes it's active. So again, massaging through the midfoot with your thumbs. You can also bring the ankle and kind of, I like to do some nice big circles with the foot around the ankle, and you can go the other way. Take some nice deep breaths so the nervous system can relax and those tissues can open a little bit more. You can give the big toe a bit more love. That one can be particularly stiff, so just kind of forward and back. Maybe some twisting. Feel any lumpy bits, you can just hold. And then spread the toes, take the hands out. Awesome. All right, so you can stay on your cushion. We're gonna do some scrunch and spreads with our toes. So again, just reteaching our feet to be able to take up space. When I transitioned to barefoot shoes, my feet got wider, and that's really normal because we've been compressing our toes for so long. So scrunch your toes up as much as you can and then spread them out really wide. Scrunch them in, and then spread them. Even the fifth toe, some of you might find that pinky toe really hard to spread. Scrunch and spread. And even anytime you're barefoot, you can do this exercise. You can do it in any position, standing, sitting, lying down. Scrunch, 2, 3, spread. Let's just do 5 more for 5 and spread. 4 and spread. 3 and spread. 2 and spread. Last one. 1 and spread. So good. All right, we're going to make our way up to standing now. And we're going to stick with a little bit more toe work. Really important to start building more mind-body connection to our feet and getting our toes working for us. So spread your toes. Try and get your big toes pointing as much as forward as they can. Now from here, we're just going to lift all the toes off the ground, but keep the knuckles down and then lower. So pull those toes back towards your shins and lower. So without lifting the whole foot. So let's just do 5. So now instead of spreading, we're pulling them up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really good. Now we're just going to differentiate between the big toe and the rest of the toes. So I want you to keep the big toe down and just lift the 4 toes, the little ones, and then lower. And again. And if that's not working for you, then just not moving, you can sit down and do this and keep your fingers on the big toe just to teach the movement. So we're learning to push that big toe into the ground, drive it down, which is really necessary for walking. See if you can do this without, I just noticed my ankles start to drop in a little bit without moving those ankles. So keeping that all stable. Then keep the 4 toes down and see if you can just pull the big toe up this time. For 5, again, you can use your hands for a little extra nudge. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to pull all the toes off the ground and just press the big toe down. For 5, give it a go. 4, just the big toe, drive it down. 3, 2, last one, and 1. And now you know it, the rest of the toes as the big toe stays down. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, give them a little shake if you need. This next one is really good, especially if your big toe alignment, maybe you're starting to get that hallux valgus, which means just that big toe is starting to go inward, and a lot of the time that's from ill-fitting shoes. So what we do is we press the big toe down into the ground. So you can see I'm pushing my big toe down, just the top, and I'm gonna give it a twist. So I'm gonna twist my foot to outer, going to the outside, as I press it down, and then I just lower. And you'll see that it kind of spreads the big toe as I do that away from the other toe. So I press down, I spread it away, and as I come down, the alignment looks like it's now more in line with the inside of my foot. So let's do that a few times for 5 and down. A really good one if you need to work on your big toe alignment. 4, I drive it down and then twist. 3, push. 2, last one, press, and 1. All right, other side, big toe comes down. I give it a twist now to the opposite side. 5, so I push the big toe down, twist. 4, again, push down, twist. 3, push down, twist. 2, I'm getting a good stretch in that big toe. Push down, twist, and 1. Really nice. While we're here, we're gonna give the top of the feet a little stretch. So you're gonna turn the toes under and press down. Now you can choose how much weight you put down through that to the top of the toes. It might be a lot if you haven't moved your feet very much. Remember, we're just getting this movement back into your feet. You can bend, you can straighten. Just spend a little bit of time here. Hopefully in this class you find out a little bit more about your foot health, where you're at. Bend and extend. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're gonna move this class to a little bit more strengthening now with some ankle work. So if you've got the ball, I've just got no roller, we can put, and you can choose, you don't have to bring a block or elevation, you can do this from the floor, but you can either bring the block between, the ball between your ankles as you do this, just to add that work, a little bit more work through the front and the back of the ankle. You can bring the feet onto a block to give you that little bit more range here. What you want to make sure, why I like to bring the ball between the ankle, is that as you do your rise, our ankles aren't spreading apart. Okay, so if I was to like bring this between my ankles, I'm keeping that connection, spreading my toes, and I'm using the back of the legs, the glutes, to rise up, and then I'm controlling the weight down. If I want to get a little bit more range, I can do it on the block here. So I start with the heel, getting that Achilles stretch at the back, and then I start loading and driving up. Okay, we're gonna do 10 altogether, and you can see how you go. So we lower down, rise, press into that big toe, get the back of the legs up. 10. So we want to go straight up, not forward. 9, and down. 8, 7. You see I'm using just a little bit of wall support. 6, 5, straight up. 4, seeing what your range is. Can you really push up to the top? 3, getting that big toe working. 2, last one here, and 1. Really nice work, team. Okay, so we're gonna move to some ankle stability. Now, I wanna say as well, with that one, I wouldn't usually do just one set. If you can do anything from like 3 or 4 sets, that would be ideal to really build up that strength. So for your balance work, you can use a block. You can also use, as part of the Soulmate kit, they have really nice kind of cork balance beams, which are really great for building your ankle work balance. I could even use a rolled up towel and just line my foot up with the rolled up towel, and that's completely fine. So first we're just gonna spend some time on one leg. You choose whether you're just standing on the ground, you can have the leg out to the side, you can just rest it on your leg, or you challenge your balance a little more here. So just take some breaths, maybe look around your room. If you kind of go out of balance, you can just see if you can bring it back. If you fall off, you just in that time, 60 seconds, you just bring yourself back up. So we're working on our ankle stability, so important. Breathing. Nothing wrong with moving around, being a little more dynamic. And then when you're ready, switch sides. So again, balancing here. Looking around your room. And then as we get better at this, we can even do other things, like you could throw and catch a ball. And there's a lot of other ideas you can do, but nothing wrong with balancing and just having a play, having a conversation with someone, so that all our focus isn't going there. We're sort of learning to do this just subconsciously. Our body is learning to react, because normally our shoes do that for us. So let's get our feet reacting and working as they should. Just a few more seconds here. All right. And then coming down. So then the second part of this would be to make it even more dynamic. You can stay on the beam. You can also do this without anything. We're just going to stand on one leg. We're going to reach in front of us and see if we can touch a point with our toe with the free leg in front. Then we're going to go reach as far away as we can behind, to the side. Then we do behind, bring it up each time. You're going to go this way behind the leg, and then this way in front of the leg, and we go again. So we're going to go in front, bring it up. To the side, bring it up. To the back. This way we go behind the leg, and then we go in front. Let's go one more round on this side. We go in front, to the side, to the back, behind, and in front. All right, let's switch it up, other side. So remembering there's so many ways to challenge yourself once you kind of start to get the hang of it. These things that were hard at the start become easy, and then you're like, what else can I challenge? So you might bring it onto a beam or challenge your base of support somehow. Okay, we go again. So we'll do 3 rounds. Maybe each time you go a little bit further. Behind on this side and then go in front. Let's go one more round. Forward, side, little taps back, behind, last one, and in front. So good. So that's like literally just a tiny example of the ways you can work on your ankles, especially if you have had recurrent ankle sprains and things like that, and you need, if you're transitioning to barefoot, you need to build up that ankle stability. So to finish, we're just going to finish with some little walks on the inside and the outside of our feet. Again, because we want to challenge the balance, and we get injured in the ranges we don't train. So I want you to try some walking on the inside of the feet to finish this class. We're going to go as far as you can, and then you can even walk backwards inside of the feet. Watch what happens with the rest of your body. Sometimes I show this to people and suddenly the rest of the body has heaps of tension in it. So just inside of the feet, walking forward and back. If you've got further to walk than me, you can walk to the end. So the blade edge of the feet, walking forward and back here, challenging that stability. Then we're going to go now to the outside of the feet. So walking, looking in front of you. This is a really common position to sprain our ankle in. So we're going to learn to get it strong. Again, outside of the feet, forward and back. Last one here. I know it looks strange, but it's just so great to challenge our body in new directions and back. Woo. All right, and bring it back in. So, thank you for joining me. I hope that was a helpful class for you guys and really supportive if you're transitioning to barefoot shoes. Don't just do these exercises once. You have to do them several times to give the body a chance to adapt. As I mentioned, this is only like a snippet even all our deep squat work, our floor positions, they're all amazing exercises to help you rewild your body. So, you get that natural movement back in your body, and then you're able to use it in your environment without needing supportive shoes, without needing orthotics and all those things that just numb out our body and stop it from doing its job. So please comment below how it was for you. Like, share, subscribe to our channel so we can keep making videos for you. Thanks for joining me, and I look forward to moving with you soon.